Namaskar, I'm Dr. Rama Paudel. Welcome to 15th episode of SCIPOD, the conversation on science, policy and development issues in Nepal. Research was introduced as one of the major components in universities over 100 years ago. Universities are the most effective institution for research and innovation. Research in universities create the foundation for major advances in different sectors such as health, medicine, food, communication, and agriculture, and also educate students to be scientific leaders and innovators.
Global IB Bank, सबैका लागि bank.
Though we have research centers and structure in universities in Nepal, we still need to strengthen their role to achieve desirable objectives. In this episode, we will discuss why we need to improve the research center at the universities. Our guest for today is Professor Dr. Meena Rajbhandari. Dr. Rajbhandari is the Executive Director of the Research Center for Applied Science and Technology, also called RECAST, at Tribhuvan University. She has completed her PhD from University of Greifswald, Germany, and has been serving in RECAST for the last 31 years. Her major area of research is phytochemistry, specifically the characterization of bioactive compounds from the medicinal plant. Welcome, Dr. Rajbhandari.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for providing me this opportunity.
Ma'am, after serving 31 years in RECAST, now you are leading the center. How do you describe your journey?
Yes, the journey was very long. After my master's degree in chemistry from Tribhuvan University, I was searching for a job, and partly I was working at Central Department of Chemistry, but at that time I could not get any opportunity to do master's thesis in chemistry, because at that time only limited number of students get opportunity in this matter. So I want to learn laboratory technique, and I taught with my teacher, my mentor, Dr. Professor Sarvagya sir. He was serving in RECAST, and he gave me a green signal, and then I joined RECAST in 2050 or 1993 April, and with him I learned many laboratory techniques, literature searching, report writing, proposal writing, scientific writing, everything I learned with him. I was very grateful to him.
Yeah, so it's very long time, like you were a kind of history in RECAST. So how do you see RECAST growing over this year?
Yeah, it was a long time. At that time, when I entered RECAST, there were many human resources, many experts in different disciplines. Mainly at that time, RECAST was concentrating her activities in energy sector, especially in solar technology, alternative energy, biofuel, etc., and partly on food technology and in medicinal
so
plants.
The major objective of as RECAST is one of the 4 centers for research in Tribhuvan University, right? So the main objective is for applied research.
Applied research, and in the main objective is is based on indigenous technology, their identification and their import and their application to the welfare of human being. And also another objective is the import of exogenous technology, which is appropriate to our country. And the third objective is provide research in basic and applied science. And the last resource is provide service to government and other sectors of the university, because at that time there were many experts in different disciplines, so we can provide a service, also laboratory facilities to the students or researchers from different central department or campuses.
That sounds great. And right now, like if you look at the journey of RECAST, like what is its strength? Like if you say, if we look at this, and what are the challenges so far?
Yeah, In that time, yeah, it was really established for energy sector, and people are working on energy. But by the time the research group who are working in the energy sector, they were retired. And retired, even the professor, technician, research assistant, some people they migrate, some people they left RECAST, and some were retired. And again, the facilities we have at that time is now very old and obsolete, so we could not upgrade the technologies with the changing environment. Yeah, for example, solar technology. At that time, RECAST was pioneer in solar research. Now we have many imported technology which are expensive, and we can't import such technology to make a new technology at RECAST.
So it seems like RECAST can collaborate with other institutions and scientists and even industries for the introduction of new technology in Nepal. So in that aspect, are you working on it, or still trying to work?
Yeah, there is possibility to collaborate with other institutes, and like Engineering Institute. They are of Pultuk campus. They are doing very good research, but we can't compare research RECAST with Engineering Institute. They have very strong human resources, very good workshop facilities to do research, but RECAST is a multidisciplinary organization. Not only people, the professor, the researcher are not only from one discipline. There is a chemist, there is a botanist, there is a food technologist.
Still, the RECAST is one of the center unit to coordinate the applied research in Tribhuvan University, right? That means like even the research conducted in Institute of Engineering, Institute of Agriculture and Animal Science, or even in Institute of Medicine, somehow like would we find out the ways how to collaborate and centralize the work in applied research?
Yeah, it is possible, yeah. But if the Engineering Institute, Institute of Medicine, Institute of Agriculture and Animal Science,
Food science.
Yeah, food science, if they like, we can collaborate with them. It would be a great opportunity for us also. But the main thing is we don't have enough human resources, better laboratory facilities, and funding to carry out research.
So is that due to the due service commission has not opened the vacancies for RECAST, or why is the?
It is also one of the reason, but the TU Service Commission always open vacancies for all campuses, central department and RECAST. There is no different special vacancy for RECAST. Yeah. And in my opinion, what I understood is many they prefer to go to academic institute rather than RECAST.
What is the difference as you invest your career in RECAST and you also work as a scientist in medicine, characterizing the biochemical compounds of medicinal plants? So what do you see the differences in serving in a research institute and the academic institute, for example, like teaching, mostly based on teaching in departments or institutes? Why people prefer like other institute than RECAST? What is the major difference in that?
The difference is,
for me, like being a research center of such an renowned university. I did my PhD from America, and then the research is kind of like very strong wings. Everybody wants to go over there. So in our context, what's different? So I just wanted to know.
Now, in the past, research center was strong in terms of infrastructure and human resources. By the time we don't have budget, we couldn't upgrade our infrastructure, neither we can recruit new human resources. But departments, central department, campuses, the new young people, they prefer to go to the departments, and they can also have project in department, they can do research, and Other thing is in departments, they for example in chemistry they do research on chemistry only, yeah. So everything is focused on chemistry, equipment, laboratory, human resources. But RECAST is a multidisciplinary. Chemists need one equipment, food technologists need other equipment, energy specialists need other equipment. So we could not coordinate this type of research activities at RECAST. Everything is dispersed, not in a convergent way. That could be the region, yeah. Department, everything is chemistry, everything is physics. They are interrelated, they coordinate, they cooperate, they can use, they can share, yeah. But in RECAST, I need one equipment, other need other facilities, other want to go to field only, yeah. So this is the why we not link all the research, but we are trying to link also.
Yeah, maybe like due to this interdisciplinary expertise, we are trying to develop an applied research facility that is helpful for outreach activities as well, right? So like as you are recently being appointed as the executive director, how do you see the opportunity to strengthen it? What is your plan for next few years?
Yeah, I have strategy in my black and white form, yeah, but can I apply this in a real life or not? Sometimes I have doubt, yeah, because everything, even the infrastructure, everything is now old. Human resources are not well trained.
So that means there need an scope for investing from the government sectors. Right?
If we want to upgrade the RECAST research center, there need a huge investment in terms of the infrastructure development, human capacity development, yeah, and we have to motivate all the existing researcher and recruit new researcher, and we have to look for the new.
Why I wanted to bring this this topic in discussion is I feel recently I was like kind of excited when I see Gandaki province establish Gandaki Province Academy of Science and Technology, GPAS, and I saw news that like they decided to close the institution like within a few years of establishment they said due to lack of budget or something like that. And I feel like, is it due to we are not being able to make the policymaker or the government to understand why the science and applied research is important, or kind of like we are not advocating enough, or they are not really understanding it? So like looking at RECAST as well, it needs investment so that it can serve as a central unit for research within Tribhuvan University, which can also coordinate with other universities as well, right? Because TU is one of the leading institution. I was glad to see your appointment, because when I see recent appointment in Tribhuvan universities, there were kind of like the absence of female participation, like in dean, campus assistant dean and all this, and you were among the very few one who are leading some units, like you were leading RECAST. So what do you think about this?
Whether female or male, it does not matter, but my opinion
is it differences being a woman to lead an institute, or it's the same?
For me it's different, it's different because of my nature, our everything is different. But as a female or male, but how to meet the objective and how to apply the strategy in the to move RECAST forward. The RECAST is in such a condition that the first thing, there is a lack of trained human resources. There is a lack of training program for them. There is a lack of knowledge about recent research, and very few are doing good research. They are publishing their work in impact factor journal, and but some are bit passive. I don't know why. It could be the cause. So if all the researchers in RECAST are active, we can stand together to get a good fund, and we can advocate with the TU authorities about in this matter. But the main drawback is that RECAST research center are not getting research budget since 2058. They are providing only salary, and this is the cause. This could be the cause why some researcher forgot, or they have no interest to do research, and some they are fighting and getting fund themselves, and they are doing their work continuously. And they are publishing. So sometimes I want to say that there is no compulsion to do research. They have sometimes freedom, and this should not help RECAST to move forward.
You did your PhD from Germany, right? So in 30 years before, right? So how was that experience?
It is in 2000.
You were married, or before marriage you did PhD, or?
I got married and I did my PhD. After that, I have a baby.
Okay, during the PhD?
No, after finishing PhD.
Oh, okay. So how was your journey, like from Nepal after getting married and going abroad 30 years before in Germany as a dad is scholar?
It was also an interesting journey for me, and once I got a permanent position in RECAST after passing this TU Service Commission exam. I thought it is the proper time to do PhD, and I started corresponding.
So how did you get that opportunity? There may not have internet at the time, right?
There is no internet. I went to this Department of Plant Resources in Thapateli, and there were journals, and I have collected address manually, and I did correspondence sent by mail. I send letter to different universities, and I have patience. I was waiting for their result. I have collected all the positive, and at that time I got a positive response in Germany, Austria.
So it was through internet or by paper?
By paper. I sent all the mails through post office. Really?
So
and
how many?
They also replied me via post office. That at that time there was no email. One or two email operating somewhere in this private office. And they also reply me by mail.
Nowadays, like I see students like, ma'am, like we are trying abroad, like when we emailing, we are not getting response from professor or something like that. Like at the time, like when you were posting by paper, right? Email to different.
And they read it and they replied me.
So how long it used to take?
1 month, 15 days. Sometimes. Sometimes it comes very early also.
The DAD scholarship is a government scholarship, right?
It is a German academic exchange service. The selection procedure was done by German embassy. After I got
were there like very few people who used to do PhD abroad at the time?
Yes, few people, and in our master's class we have more ladies than our male friends.
Okay.
But by the time I did PhD, my another lady friend did PhD. Very few did PhD, and
I mean it's still now like many of my colleagues and myself, like we feel like hard times when we have this biological clock, like having a baby, getting married at the same time, and doing PhD. Like it's kind of like we are too young, like still a kid while you did your PhD. So like I just wanted to know your experience at that time.
Yes, I did all myself. I did correspondence. I collected address. I got response. Yeah, at that time. Then after I got a invitation letter from my professor at that time, and then I applied for a scholarship.
You said like the professor was also female, right?
Yeah, my professor. It was really exciting moment when the consular in German embassy. She was also lady. She told me, "Oh, you have a lady professor. It's very nice." She told me, yeah. Then I applied for scholarship. She was also impressed.
So how long did you stay in Germany?
For my PhD, 3 years and 8 months. We have a 6 month of language course. I did, and that must be passed. And after that, we went to our university city and started PhD work, and I finished it in 3 years and 2 months.
What did you focus on your?
In my PhD, yes, it was also on medicinal plants of Nepal. For that, I collected few medicinal plant, 20 around 20 medicinal plants from Nepal. And I bought there, I prepared extract, then they were screened for antibacterial, antifungal, cytotoxic, antiviral activities, and from some active fractions I have isolated some bioactive compounds, characterized and published paper. And yeah, at that time my professor, all the German people, they were really excited. They don't even know that Nepal is such a poor country. but they did everything smoothly. I was very happy for that.
So after that, you also continued your research on medicinal plant, right?
Yes. After then, I finished my PhD, came back to Nepal, and I thought what to do. Then, before coming back to Nepal, my professor, my mentor from RECAST, he was also in Germany for 3 months. And we discuss about the possibility of getting an equipment grant. DAD, this German Academic Exchange Service, also provide equipment grant for that scholarship holder.
Yeah.
And we also talk about a project that was funded by Volkswagen Foundation, the car foundation. And I came back, and my professor, he applied this equipment grant, and we got some sophisticated, very expensive German brand equipment. It was still working in RECAST. Even I don't need any maintenance. Such a good equipment we had at that time. And we had also got a project, but to apply that project, I left my kid 8-month-old. I discontinued feeding for at 9 days. I attend the conference and I talk about this matter, and we came back and we applied. It was a collaborative project between RECAST, Central Department of Botany, Institute of Pharmacy, University of Greifswald, and one German
What was the
lady.
major finding of that research?
We have screened also many plants for antiviral activity, especially for example against herpes virus, against influenza virus, and some plants show activity. For example, Pakhanbhed, do you know? Pakhanbhed, Thulo Ausadi, some plant show antiviral activity. So from our and we also evaluated other research for that, and we have also characterized some compound. And from this result we can conclude that this plant can be used to prevent this influenza flu, because flu is to make a drug for flu is also a difficult task.
Yeah, even like our traditional medicine in our villages, we use different like plants to cure.
It means that we validate the traditional knowledge scientifically. This is
that's very important.
we have our country, our different ethnic group has rich knowledge of this, the traditional use of this plant, but they were not investigated scientifically or pharmacologically. So it is very necessary to develop. It is a part of applied research, I want to say, because we can develop a product.
Yeah, I have seen like many people are interested, and it seems like still an promising area of research, like doing having characterization of phytochemical in medicinal plants, and also creating the medicinal values, nutritional values, and all these things in Nepal, right? So, like, did you collaborate with other people, other institute, and for that research? I mean, like, beyond that, what you mentioned, right?
Yeah. The main is in Germany. My professor, we had collaboration with her, and after her retirement, she introduced me other colleagues, other junior colleagues. So I'm still working. This characterization process, especially this natural product research, is a very tedious thing, and cost. It need high cost. It is expensive, and one is not sure whether he or she get a good result or not. Yeah, sometimes it's a gambling. Research is gambling. So for this characterization, we can't do everything here. For example, many other NAST, other department, they have better instrument. Yeah, but for natural product research, we need our one equipment in my table. Yeah, we don't have. Yeah, I need to run every 8 hours or 10 hours per day. Such facilities are not available at TU or even in RECAST. Just it's a working hour is 10 to 5. That is really not enough to do true research. Yeah, one cannot close because of the office hour. Yeah, I don't like to waste my whole day because the clerk want to close the office. Yeah, this is the problem in our country, and it is really expensive. This fractionation, purification, this process is very expensive to run. SPLC equipment, it need a very pure double distill, triple distill, UV sterilized water.
Even we need the LCMS.
Yeah,
right?
LCMS and the solvent system, the SPLC grade solvent are very expensive. And if we don't use this thing, they will destroy the SPLC column. It is also the very expensive part of this system. So we couldn't run this system. And again, for characterization, we need NMR, not only NMR, mass, 2D NMR, and to determine stereochemistry, we need other equipment and other chemical modifications. So this natural product research is really, really expensive. And what is necessary in this research is there are two aspects. Yeah, people have knowledge on this plant, indigenous knowledge on this plant. For example, it is used to treat diarrhea, dysentery, wound. We can prepare such we can just test against this microorganism, and we can validate the traditional knowledge, and we can prepare a drug, crude drug, for primary health care. Or from natural product, we can isolate the compound, pure molecule, and we can do many other high level tests, clinical, preclinical trial, phase 1, phase 2, and to develop it as a drug. For example, the development of Taxol and other medicine. And this
that can also like go to pharmaceuticals industry, right?
And even in developed country, all the research they cannot do in university. They perform some basic result, basic research, and part they will collaborate with
industry.
industry and other pharmaceutical industry. And for clinical trial, they need a it is a very expensive process, and for that they need a big pharmaceuticals. And although they got a positive result, it is difficult to commercialize and get money back.
Research is a tedious process. It takes investment, it takes time, it takes energy and everything. But I say like we still need to have a focused investment in research, and like if they are working. And I was very discouraged when the Gandaki province government was like decided to close at the SCIPOD, and I definitely think that Tribhuvan University and even the Nepal government need to strengthen the research institution, and as a RECAST is one of the major in applied science. So I think we really need to work on getting more funds, right?
Yes, there is a history. Everything is written here that the pharmaceutical company, even in developed country like USA, Europe, they invest billions, trillions dollar in to develop new compound or analyze any natural product to develop as a drug. But still they could not commercialize. There are thousands of such molecules, but all are not coming to market as a drug. So they invested much. But in Tribhuvan University, without investment, how can we provide result? At least we need better infrastructure, equipments, instrument, better laboratory. Then we can work smoothly, and we can then we will get some results, return or results. But in research, no one is sure I will get a good result, or I will get a satisfactory result, or I will get a no result. This is the problem. So investment is huge, time is a lot. We are spending lot of time, but we are not sure what we will get. This is the uncertainty in research.
I just wanted to bring another conversation, like when I talk with you, and in my earlier episode I talked with Rajani ma'am, and if we all belong to Tribhuvan University now. So like when you joined the RECAST, I was only 5 years old, and now like you see all this progress over the years. Is there any differences in generations? How like you are looking at the future of Tribhuvan universities? Is there any differences on how like people are working, or it's kind of like, how do you describe?
For new generation, I have supervised many master's students from chemistry of Central Department of Chemistry, Trichandra College, even from OSCL. At that time, the most top student, they came to me because RECAST has better facilities and not much crowded. And they did their PhD and not master's thesis, and after that they asked me for recommendation. We want to go to US and one student, it was really shocking for me. He told me that his parents are quite old and I must come back, but he never come back. This is the situation, because they know. And I even suggest them, if you have such problem, you can stay at least 10 years in US, come back, earn little money and invest in certain sector, and you can secure your living in Kathmandu.
Why I'm bringing this is, as you are the director of one of the centers, and you might have access to the authorities. Like I see, like, do we need to work on what are the pushing factors, and how could we attract in universities for the new generation? Because you as you mentioned, like the new generation is not willing to stay, and as you have invested this like your generation has invested a long time in like passionately in our country, right? So like, how could you facilitate creating an enabling space for new generation?
To retain new generation in our Tribhuvan University and in research center, there should be a massive change. Otherwise, they should not stay here. For example, in terms of salary, in terms of facilities, in terms of laboratory facilities, equipment, because once they have a habit of working in a developed laboratory of developed countries.
Why I'm raising it, like if we talk about with the authorities, like, well, you have to do it, you should do it, that's true, but like there are factors which are pushing the young generation, right, not attracting. So like how could you or like the authorities work on like removing those barriers and making the young generation like more attractive to the universities?
It's really difficult. We have to change every system. The salary they paid, even in India, the professor get very good salary. But here, how much we get?
I mean, like after PhD, I am working there with my salary. If I want to send like my daughter in a better or expensive school, like it's not even enough for
the living standard here is very high, and earning is very low, salary is very low. To send children to the school, it's really an expensive one. But once they tested the pay scale, infrastructure of developed country, and if they come back, how they adjust, it is really difficult, especially for young people. In the beginning also I stayed only 3 years and 8 months in Germany. After returning from Germany, it was a little bit difficult for me to adjust into the RECAST, the working culture, the facilities, but anyway I was adjusted. This is my problem. I did everything smoothly, but for young people it is difficult to really.
I mean, like we need to invest in future. Like we need to look forward how in 20 years, 10 years, or 30 years, 50 years, how our universities will be, and how these the students, the products from the university will serve the nation, right? So like we really need to think on all those aspects. And as I mentioned, like being a very few female leaders in academia, I hope you will be also able to coordinate in some of the aspects, right? We talk about creating gender-friendly spaces in universities, creating childcare centers, child-friendly libraries, and some like kind of positive incentives for faculties to conduct research and innovation in universities, right? What would be your message to the universities, to the faculties, to students as a chair of RECAST, as an executive director of RECAST?
The faculties, to the chair, my message is we have to strengthen our infrastructure in to get some good results from RECAST. We must invest a lot in science and technology there, because from our national budget we got very limited amount of budget in science and technology, and from that also research there is no budget. In the there were about 10 lakh allocated for research, and is it enough to perform research activity over whole university? Not 10 lakh, 10 crore.
International renowned university, international renowned universities has a research unit. You know, as you were leading this RECAST, so like, how do you plan to coordinate, you know, with others so that like we can have that kind of experience in Nepal as well? Do you have any idea on plan on that?
To get fund from international agencies.
To collaborate with international universities.
It depends on the subject area, many good researcher in our university. They have still a collaboration with their university from where they did their PhD. A collaboration in terms that they can analyze their sample.
If somebody like from other research centers in other universities watching this show, like what would be your message to collaborate with such organization if they are interested on it?
Yeah, if they are interested, we will shake hand with them. Yeah. We are ready to collaborate with any research institute or any department or any government bodies or who. This is a very good message for RECAST.
So would you like to share anything else, ma'am?
In this matter, as I was working in the medicinal plant, there is a big potential in this field, because medicinal plants from high altitude mountains, hills, they are exported, illegally traded in a very low price. This has great potential. We can even use that, even knowing the traditional knowledge of this plant, we can develop a value-added product.
Sure, definitely.
If we prepare a value-added product here in Nepal, it will increase the GDP of our country. And many people will get employment, and we can get 4 times, 5 times more value than the raw plant material. And so, and other thing is, many herbal medicine are available in the market, and without without knowing how they were imported or who prepared this. So there must be a regulatory body also. And other thing is, herbal medicine has a great potential. So in many countries they were integrated with the national healthcare system. Example in Korea, Bhutan, and other countries. And we need to integrate the herbal medicine into our national healthcare center. This 3 point will increase our GDP. We can utilize our national resources in our country. For me, as a natural product chemist or phytochemistry, I am very interested in this field, even from the wasted raw material. Example, from the onion scale, from Kalimati Bazar, they will go to dumping site. From that we can refine the chemical called quercetin.
I think Pratibha ji talked about this before.
Quercetin has many biological activity in anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, neurodegeneration. Aging is a main problem in this day, unhealthy aging. If we can prepare some nutraceutical food supplement, not drug. For preparing a drug, we have no capacity, we have no pharmaceutical industry. For preparing a drug, we need a license from Drug and Food and Drug Administration. We could not commercialize. But phytomedicine, nutraceuticals, and food supplement, we can easily commercialize. So from the wasted product, we can utilize, we can extract the valuable phytochemicals. For example, from the leaves of mango, there is a chemical called mangiferin, and it has also a neurodegenerative effect, anti-aging effect. So there are many phytochemicals. So this may help to improve our health condition as well as improve the economy of the country.
So to get Nepal industrialized, like I used to talk about agro-based industry, but looking at that, like we have a other huge potential for the industries, like in pharmaceuticals industries, utilizing the chemical compounds from our plant products and all this, like and we people mostly talk about IT these days. So like there are scopes to hold the new generation in Nepal through science and technology, right?
And this is a platform for telling me this thing in the media. I was happy because many people, they don't know, they do not read our scientific article. It's too much scientific, and it's it is necessary to aware people,
translate.
aware people about this thing.
Yeah, the goal of SCIPOD was for science communication, right? I just invite scientists to share their experience, their scientific journey, personal experience, and also we were able to talk about the institutional experience as a executive director of RECAST. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here in Barakhari Media and sharing your valuable experience.
And thank you
so
very much for providing me this time. Thank you. And thank you to Barakhari Media also.